Part 2. Doing it in parts because it's important. We're going to do it in parts, and we're going to figure this out. Okay, I also got to readjust the camera. But basically, I'm using this camera setup here, where it's basically this awesome cell phone, a little BlackBerry, and just adjust the camera so that I can just do this stuff. There you go. All right. Now, I know you look at me here. Give Phasma more stuff to do. In fact, Phasma was barely used in the movie, so this would be a great thing for her and the Stormtroopers. They could play cat and mouse with Finn and Rose, and when they finally get caught, the resulting fight would be so much more satisfying. And if you have to have the political commentary and stuff, then why not have Finn and Rose find a TV screen or something that is playing a commercial about the casino, and then after it ends, have Rose tell Finn her backstory and how horrible that place really is. This would help us feel more sympathy for Rose, and yet not feel like we were putting the movie on hold. And then when Phasma has them in her grasp, she could have had them watch as the last of the resistance rebels were destroyed, just like Snoke was doing to Rey. This would be a much better way for her to hold off killing them than saying, let's not use the blasters that everyone here has. Let's go round up some laser axes. Then you have Vice Admiral Holdo's arc. Before her lightspeed launch, I didn't really like her. Her whole thing was punishing Poe for what happened in the first space battle and in the movie. Her space battle in the movie. Now, when Leia did it, it makes sense since she's the leader. She's the leader of the rebel resistance, and he got a bunch of soldiers killed by having them fly into a dangerous situation in order to take out one large ship. So she yells at him and demotes him. But then, after she almost dies by getting blown out of a ship, along with Admiral Akbar, she is able to use the Force to pull herself back into the ship and survive the vacuum of space. And while she recovers, Vice Admiral Holdo was in charge. This made things annoying because when she was, punishing him, it wasn't just little things like her saying, all right, everyone, here's the plan. We're going to do this, this, and this. Now to your stations. That includes you, Commander. No, it was more like, I know who you are, Poe. You're that hotshot pilot who got all those people killed, earlier. Then Poe says something like, you're right, I'm sorry I got all those people killed earlier. Now can you please tell me what the plan is so I can help save people's lives? Like, no, why not? Because you're that hotshot pilot who got all those people killed earlier. It's kind of like her theme song, and it's very unprofessional. Things get so bad that when Poe causes a mutiny, we were cheering for him. I was like, yeah, you guys take over, this girl's crazy. Then after Poe and friends barricade themselves on the bridge of the ship, the door was busted open, and Leia is standing there in her hospital gown. I was like, alright, now we're talking. Leia will restore order and get everyone on track. Watch out for more Vice Admiral Holdo. But then Leia stuns Poe. What the heck? Turns out they had it planned all along. They will use the Rebel Resistance command ship as a decoy, while the remaining Rebel Resistance fighters will escape to the planet I call Red Hoth. That is nearby. And the only reason they did not tell Poe about this is to punish him for getting all those people killed. Bullcrap. I would rather have Holdo be an Imperial spy like other Joe wanted, or she could be replaced by Admiral Akbar like they wanted on how it should have ended. And speaking of which, the way they bring his story to an end is one of the best things to come out of this movie. I will not spoil it here, but you should go see it. You should go see it. Because it's awesome. After the hyperspace hop, the Rebel Resistance goes to Red Hoth. Finn, Rose, and BB-8 get there after one of the other worst things about this movie. After Holdo crashes into the ship they are on, our trio uses the ensuing chaos to try and escape. Rose finds a gun, and Finn finds another one of those anti-lightsaber weapons that the Stormtrooper used against him in Force Awakens. They then turn to see Captain Phasma standing there, shining from head to toe, cape billowing in the wind. She then whips out a 3-foot-long spear thing that is as shiny as she is, and begins to close the distance between them. Rose aims her gun at Phasma's chest plate and fires, but the blast bounces off harmlessly. Finn then charges toward the sparkling stormtrooper, and the battle begins. They clash weapons a few times, but then Finn is able to knock her pike out of her hand and smash a hole in her helmet. She tells them that he will always be scum, and then he says, yeah, rebel scum. And then the floor gives way, most likely, sending her to a fiery death. What a load. She was supposed to be amazing, and yet she was literally Boba Fetted. Except she didn't even get to do as much as him. After Phasma's supposed death, BB-8 takes control of an AT-ST Walker and uses its guns to cover Finn and Rose's escape to Red Hoth. And last but certainly not least, is Rey and Kylo's trip to Red Hoth. As I said before, I would like to see more training with these two. We get some with Rey, but almost none with Kylo. Okay, am I walking? Yeah. There's like one scene where they talk alone. And yes, that scene leads to him getting rid of his mask and him getting angry, which is good for a dark side user. But there was no Dooku Savage stuff. And Snoke can use the force. Snoke can use Force lightning. He even channels it through the floor of the ship to shock a guy. You know, this could have been great potential, but we don't get that here. I'll get to that when I get to that. But first, I want to talk about one of the few good Force-related things in the movie. Soon after Rey gives Luke his arrives on Luke's island planet, she's connected to Kylo through the Force. This has never happened to her before, so when he appears before her, she shoots a blaster at him, and that blast goes right through the wall of her hut, ticking off the lizard nuns, who quickly work to repair the damage. The next time it happens, she is more used to it, so she starts calling him a monster for killing Han and trying to kill Luke. He said, Luke. He asked her if Luke had told her what happened between them, and she tells him the story from Luke's point of view, how Kylo turned to the dark side to destroy the Jedi Temple and stuff, and Kylo corrects her by telling her his side. According to him, Luke was standing over him with a drawn lightsaber while he was sleeping, and he woke up just in time to defend himself. This seemed odd to me, but then things got worse. After Rey outsword fights Luke, which is strange in itself because I never saw them train together, Luke is forced to tell her what really happened. It seems that Luke was looking into the future and saw some bad things Kylo might do. Kylo Ben might do. And for a second, he thought that maybe he should kill him to stop them from happening. There are at least two problems with this. Number one, this guy is the son of his sister and his best friend. And number two, it's to stop things that might happen. It's like some Minority Report stuff. Excuse me. I'm going to see how time it is. Okay. Got time. Yep. Looking at me. Over here. Thank you. Let's get it. I'm trying to make sure I get it. It's a new style for me. So I'm realizing if I have the thing, like the script right here, then I will be looking sort of at the camera. So I'm here. So like right here, sort of at the camera, I can do this stuff. Okay, so here. You see more of my face, then get it more recognizable. That's good. Okay. So Minority Report. Oh yeah. In that movie, people were getting arrested for things they could do but haven't done yet. The problem with that is that they could still choose not to do that stuff. It was one of the many realities that didn't exist yet. In the end, they had to let everyone go because there was no crime. It's the same here. This was such a bad idea that Mark Hamill himself was against it at first. Here's what should have happened. Say Kylo Ben is sparring with some cocky jerk, and Luke is watching them fight. Other dude knocks him to the ground and wins. His friends cheer and he turns off his lightsaber and starts walking toward his friends so he can gloat some more. Luke sees that Kylo Ben is getting super angry. And then the young emo guy stands up. There you go. The young emo guy, I'll put it in here. We've already gotten through that, so there you go. The emo guy stands up, charges toward the other dude and raises his lightsaber in order to strike him down. Luke has no choice but to step in and block Ben's lightsaber with his own lightsaber. Then he tells Ben to back off, and after a few tense moments, he does. He turns his lightsaber off and walks away. Later, Luke is buried by the wreckage of the building he's sleeping in, and after he gets out, he sees that the temple is destroyed and that the other dude is dead. That would be so much better than what we got. The point of view would have been so much more important here than what actually happened. It would make sense for Luke to have his lightsaber out, and Kylo Ren could still say that it didn't feel safe from that point on. And eventually he decided to strike first. But we don't get that, and that is crap. And the silliness doesn't end there, folks. After finding out the truth about what happened between Luke and Kylo Ben, and listening to more of what Kylo Ben says, Rey decides to go and try to save him. Here. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and Art.